It's 2021 and it's January, which can only mean one thing for the music industry. It's time for Winter NAMM. However, this year, Winter NAMM is going to look a lot different because we're still in the middle of a global pandemic. Wear a mask, but don't let that dissuade you from going and looking for all the cool new stuff coming out because it's going to be a lot more accessible because they're doing NAMM online, which is great for a couple of reasons. One, it allows me, who has a small channel that's still building and growing, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'm trying to build this viewer base as quickly as I can, but it's okay. I don't have to be that impatient. Just share it with your friends. It allows me to get access to it, and it also allows you to get access to it. You can register and sign up and go watch the seminars and even the boring stuff that's gonna happen at NAMM, and you can get a lot of this information before your YouTube feed is so gracefully just flooded with content from the Andertons folks. Constant content, lots of it. I love you, Pete. I love you, Captain. But boy, that's a lot of coverage, guys. So I wanted to go ahead and talk to you about some of the things that are coming out before NAMM, some of the things that have already been announced, because one of the interesting things about this year is that a lot of retailers and a lot of companies are able to kind of launch their own products without necessarily using NAMM as a platform. And they're gonna have stuff come out during the NAMM show that starts this next week, but they've already done a few things. So we've got Fender has put out some information. PRS did their own big long live stream the other night. I hope you guys checked that out. That was really cool. I really enjoyed all the talks and chats that they had, even though if I'm being entirely honest, the acoustic thing was a little underwhelming just because I can't listen to that much sad country music. It kind of bummed me out, but I love Paul Reed Smith and I love that company. Sort of outlines what they're gonna have coming up in the following year, and a new series that we're gonna do here on Gearville that I call Two Cameras and the Truth. But probably more realistically, my opinions on things, because I just wanted to clarify that because, you know, we live in this weird post-truth society, even though the, American public is shifting towards a new administration very soon. And hopefully we can work towards a future where we focus more on science and truth than egos and other things. But Two Cameras and the Truth is a lot easier to roll off the tongue. Camera 2, roll the intro. I'm a dork. First up, let's take a look at Fender. Now, Fender did a huge release for 2021 this past week. A lot of really cool things coming down the pipe. They've got some new amps, some new guitars, and some anniversary model guitars, which are really cool and interesting, and they've done some really cool stuff there. But let's talk about some of the things that I'm excited about in this coming year. Number one, the Noventa Series. It's another affordably priced, made in Mexico guitar series, and they are all gonna be P90s, which is a lot of fun because I love a good P90 guitar. So they have a Strat with two P90s, a Telecaster with a single P90, and the Piece de Resistance, a Jazzmaster body with three P90s. Now there's no Jazzmaster sort of tone circuit thing on it. It's just a blade switch. But I mean, look at this thing. It looks amazing. They're gonna have that guitar in, I believe, surf green, walnut, or let's be honest, it's brown. And I'm reading a Fiesta red, but I haven't actually seen that one yet. The other cool ones that are coming out, the Telecaster looks amazing. That one pickup looks so good. I like what they've done with that sort of swept pick guard, sort of like a modified Cabronita kind of vibe, and I really love that they just did the single bridge pickup. But I gotta be honest, not so thrilled about the Strat. I mean, to each his own, but I don't really care for the way it looks. Something about it sort of bumps me, but that's fine. I'm sure they're gonna sell a lot of these, and they're really reasonably priced. These are gonna be right there, sort of in the same ballpark as the Ventura series, right around $1,000 bucks, probably just under that. Next up, Fender is doing a new 75th anniversary series. Now, bear in mind, Fender guitars and Fender amps have different anniversary years. I actually have a Hot Rod Deluxe that is a 60th anniversary, and it would not have been the same year as the 60th anniversary guitars that they did. Weird side note, I know. But they're doing 2 runs of guitars for the 75th anniversary. They're doing a affordable series in sort of a silver kind of look, and those are going to go in that sort of Vintera, I guess, in Noventa as well series price range, made in Mexico. And they're also going to do an American-made series right around the $2,000 mark. I'm sure those are going to actually end up retailing for a little bit less, that are sort of this really pretty burst finish, as you can see. Now, those are going to be very interesting to check out when they come out, but they basically did that to the entire range of instruments. Another cool thing Fender's doing is releasing 3 new amplifiers. One of them, a headphone amp, which is a really interesting thing. That's been a pretty big market in the last couple of years, especially with people during the quarantine being kind of in their house and playing around, wanting to quiet things down for maybe they have a new kid, or just, you know, maybe they suck at guitar and their friends and family make fun of them mercilessly, and then they can learn in headphones and get better. Trust me, we've all been there. But that's going to be the Mustang Mico amp. They're also going to be releasing 2 new amps in the 68 Custom range, the 68 Custom Vibro Champ and the 68 Custom Pro Reverb. The most interesting of those 3 amps to me is going to be the Pro Reverb. They've essentially shrunk it. It's a 40-watt amp. They're going to go through a smaller single 12-inch speaker, so a smaller enclosure. This amp is going to have a 3-band EQ, 2 bass, tremolo, and reverb, as you would expect. This is going to have a Celestion cream back in it, which is really interesting to see, and it's going to go for right around that $13.99 mark. The Vibro Champ, is going to go for right around the $750 mark, and the little guy, the little headphone amp, the Mustang Mico, is going to be right around $100, which I think is a really good price for something like that. And it's going to be on a lot of stocking stuffers and Christmas gifts here later on in the year. You know that's going to happen. They're going to sell a lot of those guys. Moving on. Next up, let's talk about Paul Reed Smith, one of the more divisive brands among internet guitar people. A lot of people sort of put them in this camp where they're just sort of a metal, or in the case of when I was in high school, a new metal guitar. Hey, it's the reason why the first nice guitar I ever bought was a CE24. Back in the day when they didn't have the blade switch. It's a 2004, it's got the 5-way knob. It's really not ideal, but I love that guitar. I still have it. Paul signed it at a Dallas Guitar Show, and it's sort of one of my prized possessions, even though it's kind of chipped up. We'll do some videos with that guy, I'm sure, in the future. But PRS released a whole bunch of really cool guitars through this really neat event that they did. It's about a 3-hour YouTube video. There will be a link for that down in the description. If you didn't get a chance to see it, you should definitely go check it out. Let's talk about some of the highlights from the things that they released. The Zach Myers SE guitar is a beautiful single-cut, semi-hollow body, just rock and roll machines. They're doing some really good stuff with that SE line, and it's really cool to see these more affordable PRSs sort of proliferate a lot of the younger players, because they are more accessible. When I got my PRS, the most accessible PRS in 2004 was the CE, and it was really expensive for me as, you know, 17-year-old kid. Also, Mark Lettieri has himself a new signature guitar. It's a little bit of a departure for PRS from their normal body styles. I guess everything's on the table since the Silver Sky debuted. This one actually, to me, looks a little bit more like an Ernie Ball Music Band, which I am not opposed to. As you can tell, I very much love Ernie Ball and all of their, a lot of their guitars. This one, to me, almost looks more like a Steve Lukather kind of situation, which is a really cool direction to go, because, to be honest, I think that Steve Lukather guitar would look really good with a PRS headstock, and that's kind of what they've done here. I like it. We'll see how that thing sells, but the big seller, I'm gonna have to be honest, it's already sold out. I mean, you're probably gonna be able to get it through your dealer, but in terms of dealers getting them from PRS, I'm pretty sure it's already sold out. Yeah, you know what I'm about to tell you about. another special edition color for the Silver Sky. This time it's called Lunar Ice, which no is not a Gatorade flavor from the mid-2000s. It's another one of these flip-flop candy-coated car-style colors that they're doing on John Mayer's beautiful signature Silver Sky. This one, however, was limited to 1,000 instead of the original 500, but I'm sure they're gonna end up on Reverb for $5,000 in a month or so. So if you do have the opportunity and the cash, call your local PRS dealer and see if, you know, they've got one and no one's bought it yet, because if they haven't, grab it. But my favorite guitar to come out in this whole new PRS run, and I feel like it's a little bit undersung, and I'm sure it's going to be all over the place. It's called the Studio. Look at this thing. Right? It's basically, it's got a split humbucker in the bridge, and then their narrow field proprietary pickups in the middle and neck position, which are basically a P90. They're basically P90. So it's essentially a humbucker, P90, P90. But man, this thing is killer looking and killer sounding, and I think that that sort of HPP loadout is going to be a big player moving forward, as we've seen, and you might not have seen, that Reverend is releasing a 6-gun in HPP, and I want to get my hands on one of those so bad. But we have a Reverend video for you coming very soon, where we're going to take a look at a few different Reverend guitars and talk about that company a little bit.
Okay, tease me.
You know there's gonna be so much more new stuff coming out next week, and I'm going to be watching every second of it with you. Make sure you go on and sign up to get registered and view and get your access to all that NAMM stuff. It's sort of unprecedented in the last, I don't know, 10 years or however long it's been since they let the general population go to NAMM, but you're able to go. Check everything out, watch the stuff with me, and if you aren't able to go, I'm gonna try to do another one of these to recap, maybe one or two of them next week, who knows, just to recap what's going on, things I'm excited about. Let me know what you're excited about coming up from NAMM, things that I might be able to get my hands on and do some demos and reviews and a lot of weird videos, as I am wont to do. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that little bell. If you don't mind, share it with your friends, and join me soon for more videos, some really cool stuff coming up, as well as more NAMM coverage, because guys, it's here. NAMM 2021, Winter NAMM, all online, all access, and there's some really cool stuff down the pipe if you believe any of the rumors. So, be good, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you next time. I'm Chris. This is Gearville.